Y'all heard what Todd said about black folks after being pardoned by Trump? Listen.
This is a long shot because so many people are told no. And being in the prison system, anyone that says that it's a fair shake, it's not. Because I dealt with young African-American males in the prison that I was in that were not treated the same. They were denied programming. They were denied access to certain things. I was not denied that, but we know why I wasn't denied that. And so I think that is a much bigger picture that we all as a society as a whole need to look at, that we are one. And whether you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever, at the end of the day, when you're in that hospital, you don't care if it's a Democrat treating you or a Republican. Now, some of you may, but I want whoever's going to be the best.
This does not warrant an invite to the cookout. Because like my granny and them always said, you're not finna get rewarded for doing some shit you supposed to do. He supposed to acknowledge the inequalities in the system. Just think about it. How many folks look like us you think locked up for the same exact thing he was, but they waiting on commissary and a release date? We only represent about 14% of the general population. Our community represents 38% of the federal prison population. They both got pardoned, and I hope that when they rubbing shoulders with them Trump supporters, they're able to keep in mind that no matter how much them folks engaged in colorblindness, they seen the racial inequality for themselves. Well, maggots always love to ask, can you name anything that I can do as a white person that you can't do as a black person? Shit, ask Todd. I'm going to start saying that from now on. Education is elevation.
I finally watched the entire Todd Chrisley press conference, right? Talked about a lot of things. He talked about his experiences. They asked him questions, yada, 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 right? There was just one or two parts that kind of tickled me, right? So we all know Trump pardoned him, right? They got to talking about how he felt about the charges and if Todd would do anything different, than what happened before. He proceeds to say, in which I believe him because I read the case and I understand what happened, he said he wouldn't do anything different because he didn't do anything wrong. Yada, yada, yada. He goes into talking about how the Biden administration is at fault. And can't no one tell me that was a part of the pardon deal. You have to blame Biden for everything, right? Right. And I know Trump is pissed. And then he goes on to talk about how different he was treated in prison than the African-American males that he met in jail. Savannah Chrisley did what she had to do to get her family out of jail. And I'm just saying, she did a damn good job.
Well, it looks like the jig is up. Trump has been exposed, finally. I'm very disappointed because I never believed.
Some things are better heard from white people than black people. Not in a bad way, but to prove what black people have been saying. Sometimes when black people come out and talk about all these disparities that has been going on in America, people still don't believe. People say that black people are just complaining. They need to get a job. They need to get something to do. But it's different. When a white person stand against all odds, stand against their own group of people, and decides to come out and say the truth. To say the truth that none of these white folks usually believe when a black person talks about it. There is so much disparity, even in the treatment in the prison system. And we all get to know the truth when Chrisleys comes out and explains the truth. It shows you that there is a deep disparity that's going on. And this is just another day to also remind you that for those usually who say that racism ended a long time ago, I don't think so. Because we have situations, we have scenarios that expose the truth. We have situations that expose the truth. It is really, really sad that a black person will come and say the same things, but they will not believe because it comes from a black person. But they will definitely believe when now it becomes from a white person. And two things that are prone to happen. First is that they disown the person. If the person looks like them, they'll definitely say that this person has been blackified. He has been indoctrinated by black people to say such kind of things. That's how they argue. Two, they'll find a way of silencing this white person. We have seen all these scenarios, especially from white people that have decided to come out of their community and talk about all these things that are really uncomfortable truths that needs to be discussed, that needs to be talked about. Most of them are not comfortable. Why? Because they bear the truth that white people are not ready to say. So the few white people that say it's either they're being disowned, or they find a way of silencing them, or they find a way of deflecting from all these truths, brothers and sisters. So brothers and sisters, please let me know what you'll think about this video. And if you're watching me for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get to what I can offer you. And for those always coming back, man, watching my videos, man, I'm really grateful for the support that you all give me. But until then, I want to switch this video, and then I'll be back. I'll be giving my 2 cents in regards to this. So let's dive into it. I'll be back.
That it was true. But he's a racist. Why? Because he pardoned Todd and Julie Chrisley. See, the media says that the reason he pardoned them is because, number one, they're white. Number two, they're famous. And number three, their daughter is a big fan of theirs and gave a lot of money to the Trump campaign. Now, don't blame me. I'm just telling you what the media said. However, it's bullshit. See, he not only pardoned Todd and Julie Chrisley, he pardoned notorious Chicago gangster Larry Hoover, who's been in jail for about 50 years or more. He also pardoned rapper NBA Youngboy, who happens to be black. So, he pardoned Todd and Julie. They're white. He pardoned Larry and NBA. They're black. Don't seem too racist to me. But it's typical. If you listen to the media, that's surely what you will believe. However, the main reason he pardoned any of them is because of Alice Marie Johnson, the black woman, by the way, who he pardoned in his first term because she had been wrongly convicted and had served quite a bit of time in jail. Alice has been looking at the cases, and she's looked at a lot of cases. And what Trump is doing is he's tasked Alice to look at the cases and look at people who have been overcharged and who is spending way too much time in jail for the crimes that they have committed. Welcome home, Todd and Julie and NBA. I don't think NBA was in jail anyway, though. But as for Larry, I don't think Larry will be going free because Larry still has a 200-year sentence in Illinois. And it's a state charge, and it's probably not going to go away. So yes, Larry will be moved probably from federal prison to state prison. And he'll probably spend the rest of his life in jail. However, Trump pardoned him federally. Boy, when you listen to the news, you just never know what lies you're going to get from day after day after day. It just never ceases to amaze me. But, hey.
Now let's address the recent pardon party. First of all, we're not dumb. We see what you're doing. You letting out anybody who you think is a heavy hitter with the communities of color, because that's who you want to support you. You want everybody in America pushing your agenda, not just yours. You're bored with your own community. So you're doing whatever you can, grasping for straws, trying to figure out how you can win over the vote of color, the support of color. Let me tell you something. There are so many other things you could pardon. Pardon some of these grocery prices. Pardon some of these student loans. Just name a few. Pardon these tariffs, this mess you got going on with that. Why don't you pardon some of that? Now, I ain't dissing, Todd Chrisley, them. That's tax fraud and evasion. You said you're freeing Larry Hoover, and then you labeled him a Chicano gang member, leader. What? Larry Hoover is Black American. Larry Hoover is not a Chicano gang leader. You need to check Fox News and their outlets labeling that. Y'all just throw whatever up there. Y'all are so out of touch with communities of color. You think Chicano means Black American. Lord have mercy, I can't get no help in here. Anyway, this recent pardon party, we see what you're doing. We not dumb. Could you focus on some stuff that actually matters? And I find it very funny that the whole campaign was about, the other one he was running up against. Okay, she's just gonna free all the criminals, and that's what she wants to do. She just wants to give. That's what you doing, though. That's that game that Republicans play. They will say, hey, don't vote for the Democrat. They just want to free the criminals. Then you wind up doing it. Basically, you saying it's okay if you do it, but if somebody else does it, it's a problem because they're of color. Please get out of my face with this.
And I know Trump was not expecting Todd Chrisley to get up there and talk about the judicial system and how African Americans are not being treated fairly. Kudos to him. Round of applause, because that's what literally having a voice and having privilege, that's what people are literally supposed to do. And it's like, yes, it may not make a drastic change right now, but talking up matters. Using your platform, using the fact that you have privilege to highlight what the hell is going on. Like, he's only been out about 24 hours now, and he's making sure he's getting to what needs to be said, okay? He ain't sugarcoating, and I'm sure Mr. President did not expect him to come. I'm sure he's looking now like, how can I take that pardon back? Because that's not what you're supposed to be highlighting. He wants you to be highlighting the, his little slogan that he be saying. But no, he's getting up there and talking about how in the judicial system that African Americans are not getting the same privileges or not getting the same resources that are in the jail system, in the prisons, and that that's something that needs to be talked about. Because when African Americans come out and they say it, it's just like, boo-hoo, so what? And now someone else is getting up and using a platform to make sure what needs to be said is said.
Pardon the Chrisleys. The Chrisleys. Y'all remember the Chrisleys? They had that whole reality TV show. They was real estate people or what have you. And then they got convicted of tax fraud. Millions upon millions of dollars. Your commander-in-chief just pardoned them. Why? Why? Explain. I need a reason. I want y'all MAGA supporters to come in my comments and give me a valid reason. I don't want to hear nothing about this America. I don't want to hear nothing about because he can. I want to hear a valid reason. Even Exotic Joe Exotic is questioning. He's like, I'm the Lion King, for crying out loud. Why didn't you pardon me? Wait. He said, I guess being innocent is not enough in America. They all admitted to perjury on world television, but yet I'm left to die of cancer before I can get any help. Why is it the entire world can see the evidence, but the White House refuses to acknowledge that they did this to me, knowing that they were lying? He is pissed off. I'm sorry. The cancer part is not funny, okay? Let's be clear, because y'all always try to drag people in the comments. But Joe Exotic is very upset that Todd and Julie Chrisley got a full pardon from his president, okay? Now, tell me what you guys think about this. Did they need to have a full, I don't know, but supporters, give me your valid reasoning. And everybody else, just tell me what you think. Was this needed? I don't think it was. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't think it was. But Like, share, comment. Okay. All right. Bye.
Now that the ink has dried up and he is out, Todd Chrisley then talks about how black men do not have the privilege he's had in prison.
Being in the prison system, anyone that says that it's a fair shake, it's not. Because I dealt with young African-American males in the prison that I was in that were not treated the same. They were denied programming. They were denied access to certain things. I was not denied that, but we know why I wasn't denied that. And so I think that that is a much bigger picture that we all as a society as a whole need to look at, that we are one. And whether you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever, at the end of the day, when you're in that hospital, you don't care if it's a Democrat treating you or a Republican. Now, some of you may, but I want whoever's going to be the best. This is a long shot.
Now, I do not think Trump thought that this was going to be the conversation he was going to have when he left. But that's why I said the ink dried up. But this is how you use your platform. Let's get to the nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? You got privilege. You was able to get out while people are still in there and can't get the benefits that you had in prison. As far as programs and bettering themselves, by the time they get out, they'll have a chance to do something else with their life. He ain't waste no time, and this is what I want to see. Y'all follow that YouTube. Bye, y'all.
Chrisleys give conservative, but they don't give like MAGA, you know? And I feel like what really changed it from like going all the way to MAGA was that half-black granddaughter. What's her name, Chloe? If you watch the show, you know that one person who they do not play about at all. Like, keep in mind, Todd don't care about his two oldest kids, but he cares about that grandbaby. Like, he do not play about her. That's basically his sixth child. The funny thing about Savannah was, to me, it was always clear that she was doing MAGA stuff to get her parents out of jail. She never gave MAGA to me. I don't know, it just felt super like inauthentic. And I remember like seeing reels of her with the little MAGA hat. First of all, she would not let that MAGA hat go. I bet she had like 10 MAGA hats in her closet. And you know what? If my parents were in jail, even though they're kind of guilty, I might have done some MAGA stuff too to get my parents out of jail, you know? Because one thing about the Chrisleys, they don't play about family, except for the oldest two, okay? The Chrisleys are guilty, especially Todd, y'all. I am so sorry. I'm always like, I didn't do it. We know you did it, and we know that Todd's life is very messy. Alleged gay lover, he had an affair on his first wife, that's how he got the second wife. Rod just like fits in perfectly with that, you know? Like, I think it makes sense. And when I was watching the show, it never made sense to me how we got all that money. Did we ever get any answers to that? Some people are already saying that Savannah's trying to like remove the MAGA stuff from her Instagram page. I haven't checked, so I don't know if that's true or not. But what really gagged me was right after Todd left jail, he was talking about how African-American men are not receiving the same treatment as white men in jail. What? That gagged me the most, because I thought we were going to, you know, continue this MAGA for a few more years and then maybe, you know, start becoming woke. But no, they were like woke out of the gate. What? One of the funniest things that come out of this situation is that I didn't know so many black people watched the Chrisleys. Like, I thought I was a minority in this, but like on TikTok, it looked like everybody who's talking about it is black. And I feel like Todd low-key went over a bunch of black people with what he said. Because my thing is, I just already programmed them as being, you know, like, you know, MAGA, whatever, move on. But he's like, actually, black people deserve to be treated better in jail. What? Like, Todd, what?
Now that the ink has dried up and he is out, Todd Chrisley then talks about how black men do not have the privilege he's had in prison.
Being in the prison system, anyone that says that it's a fair shake, it's not. Because I dealt with young African-American males in the prison that I was in that were not treated the same. They were denied programming. They were denied access to certain things. I was not denied that, but we know why I wasn't denied that. And so I think that that is a much bigger picture that we all as a society as a whole need to look at, that we are one. And whether you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever, at the end of the day, when you're in that hospital, you don't care if it's a Democrat treating you or a Republican. Now, some of you may, but I want whoever's going to be the best. This is a long shot.
Now, I do not think Trump thought that this was going to be the conversation he was going to have when he left. But that's why I said the ink dried up. But this is how you use your platform. Let's get to the nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? You got privilege. You was able to get out while people are still in there and can't get the benefits that you had in prison. As far as programs and bettering themselves, by the time they get out, they'll have a chance to do something else with their life. He ain't waste no time, and this is what I want to see. Y'all follow that YouTube. Bye, y'all.
I see some of y'all having the conversation about Todd Chrisley's pardon speech when it comes to us being discriminated or treated unfairly while we're locked up. And to be honest, number one, we have to be honest on this part. Some people is going to hear it that wouldn't hear it any other way. Is it going to make a difference? Who knows? What I am going to say is the reason why Todd could speak on this is because he was locked in. It's because he had no other choice but to see it. I say that to say this. I've said it before. Some of us won't be so heartless towards black people, brown people, Hispanic people, people. I'm not gonna say y'all know them other people. I'm not gonna say because deep down y'all good. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. Y'all good. Y'all don't have nothing. Let me get back. The point I'm trying to make is sometimes too many people make judgment call or hate off of people only because misinformation, only because of TV, social media, or you grew up and your mama said that these people is no good. We won't be so cheering and heartless towards other things that other races going through if we was to see really what they come from, what they're going through, how they really live. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to cut it off because I'm getting in trouble.
So Todd Chrisley gave a press conference yesterday. His first press conference, his first interview, whatever have you, since being pardoned and released from prison. During the press conference, Todd Chrisley stated that he was granted access to things in prison that blacks were denied access to. Well, Todd, I'll tell you what. Imagine you being locked up in prison and us being out here free, law-abiding black folks, right? And we are denied access to fair housing, fair health care, fair employment, etc. And we haven't broken any laws. And the folks that are inside of a prison, they are denied access to things that they should be granted access to. But Todd, you ain't telling us nothing that we don't deal with on an everyday basis, man, because we dealing with it out here. I'm glad you got to see it for yourself in there, but we deal with it twice as much on the other side of those walls, and we haven't broken any laws. So when you go down there to your visit on Pennsylvania Avenue, maybe you should tell the person that's in charge about how your experience was. Because in there, you experienced that, we're experiencing it twice as much. And we haven't broken any laws. We're law-abiding citizens, and we deal with stuff on a daily basis.
I never get on here and talk about anything controversial, but I'm going to right now. I need to know, what does everybody think about the Chrisleys? I'm not going to lie. I am so pumped. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Me and my daughter, I sent her the message and was like, are the Chrisleys really getting out? Did they get pardoned? Because I'm excited for them. I love Todd and Julie Chrisley. I can't help it. Savannah and Grayson and Chloe and that dang grandma. I don't feel like they did anything that maybe a lot of very wealthy people don't do. I don't know. I didn't even watch it, to be honest with you. I have no idea. I know it was tax evasion, but I find it very hard to believe that they raised taxes any more than a lot of those other wealthy people do. But who am I? I don't know. I don't make enough money that, trust me, the tax people aren't coming after me ever as a school teacher. If anything, they'll just feel sorry for me. Maybe they'll give me some, I don't know. But how do y'all feel about the Chrisleys? Tell me. I want to know. Now, I love them, and it's okay if you don't, because, I mean, I'm not like going to argue or anything like that. I really do want to know what people are thinking. Are you loving that the Chrisleys are getting out, or do you think it's wrong? Tell me about it. I want to know how you feel about the Chrisleys.
Major news, President Trump just granted a full pardon to Todd and Julie Chrisley. And as expected, liberals are already trying to twist it into some race issue. But let's get real about what this is actually about. Todd and Julie were convicted of financial crimes and sentenced to over a decade combined. But many question the fairness of the case, the sentencing, and whether the system went too far, something we've seen in other cases too. Here's what the president had to say.
It's a great thing because your parents are going to be free and clean, and I hope we can do it by tomorrow. Is that okay? We'll try getting it done tomorrow.
See, President Trump's pardon isn't about privilege. It's about principle. This is the same man who pardoned people of all races, from Alex Johnson to Jack Johnson to Rod Blagojevich to Kodak Black. If you earned a second chance, he gave it to you. But now the left wants to pretend this is some kind of racial injustice. Please. Trump record proves he doesn't care about your skin color. He cares about justice. This was the right move. Good for the Chrisley family and into the race baiting crowd. Facts don't care about your opinions or your narrative. Truth wins every time. Love wins. A family has been restored.
First of all, TikTok, let me say this shit for entertainment purposes only because I got a feeling that y'all will try to find some reason to hit me with some guidelines. Second of all, y'all know I just left a Saturday Doge meeting, right? And I got to put a W. I want y'all to put some W's in the chat for Todd Chrisley. Because Todd Chrisley has put the spotlight on systematic racism. Something that a lot of people have denied for so long. A lot of people said racism is not systematic. I have always believed racism was systematic. But Todd Chrisley is putting the spotlight on systematic racism through his experience through the damn prison system. Todd Chrisley said he watched as black and brown people were not exposed to certain opportunities and programs that he was. He said he watched them skip over black and brown people and brought him the certain programs that would probably help him get freed faster. He said he watched that the whole time he was in there. So I need y'all to put some W's in the chat for Todd Chrisley for putting the spotlight on systematic racism. See, I always have felt like that. See, a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people forget this word called prejudice. A lot of people get racism and being prejudiced mixed up. If a person don't like you because of your skin color, or if a person don't like you because of your hair, or whatever, if it's something like that, that's not called being racist. That's called being prejudiced. See, a lot of people have forgot that term, prejudiceness. They have forgot that, and everything has been associated to being racist. But I always have felt racism is systematic. I always have felt that. And Todd Chrisley has seen that for himself. A white man that would have never ever seen that, never put the spotlight on that, or never even experienced, but he went through it and he's seen it for himself with his own eyes. He's seen how they passed them and gave him the opportunities. So I gotta ask y'all to put some W's in the chat for my boy Todd Chrisley for doing that. Cause I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate him using his voice to put that spotlight on systematic racism and make people aware, white people aware, other white people aware that racism can be systematic because so many people don't feel like that. Hey, y'all put some motherfucking W's in the chat for Todd Chrisley, man. Let's go.
Savannah, you wasn't expecting that, right? You wasn't expecting Todd to come out and say that, right? I know you somewhere sitting with that hat glued to your head because apparently they probably told you whenever you online, you need to wear that hat. White, red, whatever, you need to wear it. But I know you wasn't expecting your daddy to come out of jail saying that. Yeah. You thought he was going to do what you do. Yeah.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. Again, I'm your host and presenter Agent Stories. Welcome, and I think it's always a great day to always come and talk about all these important things, all concerning things. Brothers and sisters, we all know very well that there is a huge disparity that has been going on between black people and white people. And so many times when a black person comes and explains all these concepts, they don't agree with black people. They don't believe black people. But at least you are saying the truth. It is being confirmed that the treatment of black people and the treatment of white people, it's not the same. The same thing that I usually say, the reality that a black person has is not the same as the reality that a white person has. Right? Because they share different realities when it comes to the experience with America. So, when we say that all these things still exist, indeed, they exist. And black people have really gone through all this. Black people have seen one of the worst scenarios. That's why when we say that black power is resilience, it is true. Because black resilience is one thing that has made all black people to survive through all these difficulties that has been going on for a long time. But the truth that stands out, whether you agree or disagree, the truth is there has always been a disparity between what is happening to black people and what is happening to white people. The experiences are not the same, brothers and sisters, and that's why we all gotta agree that racism still goes on. This is something that has been going on for a while now. So brothers and sisters, please let me know what you'll think about this video. I didn't have much to say, but I just wanted to let the reality hit you. I just wanted you to get to see and have a feeling of what it feels. You white people, especially that you don't believe black people when they explain to you profusely how the reality between Americans, black Americans and white Americans is not the same. So please let me know what you'll think about this video. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Agent Stories, and let me see you in my next video, right?